is it? Day one. What day is it? Day one. I was given a job and I got it done, and I got penalized and punished for doing that. I'd lost everything. And I became homeless. I had to win. I've been blessed to create many, many millionaires. I became known as Mr. Day One. Why Day One? I've been blessed to create many, many millionaires in the business, and it's a blessed thing for me. I remember flying to Costa Rica based on 4 young men contacting me and saying, please come see us, and I got an airplane ticket and I went to Costa Rica. I got there on a Friday, and by Monday we'd signed up like 100 or 200 people. It was crazy. My hotel room, my suite was just packed with people. The managers kept kicking everybody out. So pretty soon we filled the whole lobby up, and we were just signing people up with stacks of papers. It was an unbelievable experience. But these 4 young men were poor. It was a poor country. And I remember taking them to buy their first suits, so they could present in front of a crowd, because they put 700 people in a room. But none of them looked right. They just had old clothes and stuff. So I bought them their first clothes, and shoes, suits, ties, all of that, belts, that kind of stuff. And fast forward, 3 or 4, 5 years later, one of those young men, not only did they make a lot of money, all of them, one of those young men was inducted in 2019 into the GoPro Eric Worre $1 Million Hall of Fame, along with Anthony Napolitano and others that I had worked with in the past. And so the blessing for me, and the thing that I've really been blessed with, is the ability to shape and mold young people to where they become not only great leaders, but also their income gets to a level that they can do good things in the world with it. Network marketing is a relationship business. Relationships in your personal and business life dictate the quality of your life. For example, the last project I was in, I had great relationships, and I made a few phone calls, and thousands of people joined the company and gave it a really good kick on the very beginning. Relationships in business are everything, right? Relationships in your personal life. If you don't have relationships in your personal life, it's a pretty boring life out there, right? But the key to having a great relationship is, number one, understanding the needs of other people and helping them with those needs. If you're always just trying to take for yourself, guys, that it's never going to happen for you. You're never going to have the kind of relationship you really want to have. And not only that, but we're mirrors of people. When you give, they give. When you take, they take. And so to have a great relationship, they got to know you're in it for them. They got to know you're all in. You're going to do whatever it takes to help them succeed, to help them reach their goals, to help them get their dreams. And when they do that, you're going to have amazing relationships. Now, in personal relationships, that's the same thing, It's about loving people. It's about doing for people, caring for people. Little tiny things make a difference in relationships. But having great relationships is what gives you the quality of your life. Without great relationships, the quality of your life is minimized, guys. And so what you've got to do is you've got to always be a giver. You got to always love people. You got to always look to help people. And you got to make that your mission, and you got to make that your purpose in life. And when you do that, then you have those great relationships, because there's a time when you're going to need those relationships for different reasons. One of the things that I've always taught people is the mission over money. You got to have a purpose. You got to have a mission. You got to be a crusader to really win in business out there, right? And so what I've always done is I've had a mission to create leaders, a mission to create millionaires, a mission to create successful leaders that impact other leaders that impact other leaders. And so, when you talk about mission over money, my life now is about the mission. It's about the purpose. It's about being a crusader. You got to believe in what you do. You got to have a crusade. You got to have a purpose and a mission. If you don't have that, guys, if you're just working for money, success is not going to be there for you. You have to have something greater than that. You got to be working for a greater cause, for a greater reason. And that mission can be your product or your service, whatever you have, the way that it impacts people, the way that it helps people, the way that it saves people. That can become a mission to you. And when you have that and you feel that, when you talk to people, they're not going to feel you thinking of them as just another check, as money. They're going to feel when you look at them, you got this flashing sign on their chest that you see that says, make me feel special, help me, believe in me. You know, when I'm on stage and I go out in the groups, I work hard, so I work like I haven't got a penny to my name. And the reason is very simple. When I was on stage one time here a couple of years ago, about 500 or 600 people there, and I took questions, and one of the questions was, well, why don't you retire on the beaches of the world? You know, you don't need to be doing this. What drives you now? And I said, well, I've been on the beaches of the world all my life. And right now, my goal is to get you on the beaches of the world. One of the greatest things that you can do for another person is let them know that you believe in them. That empowers people to win, guys. When I was in high school, I was a star basketball player. And I remember at my senior year of basketball, we were playing the crosstown rival team for some championship. And they had me on the newspaper and the key star of that team on the newspaper, and we were friends. And the title said, whoever has the best game, their team wins. Man, that's a pressure like crazy. Well, the night before, I was actually doing shoot-arounds. We're shooting, and I'm sitting there, you know, moping around, going, just stressed out of my mind. What if I didn't have a good game? I'm going to let down everybody. And I remember I'm sitting, and I just felt this hand on my shoulder. And I looked over, and it was my coach. He just smiled at me, and he said, Rick, you got this. You're going to make it happen. I believe in you. And guys, it's like the weight of the world just came off of me to know that he believed in me and he knew I was going to win. And what ended up happening, guys, is I killed it. And we ended up winning that game. And we were the underdogs. But I went out there and I set records in that game. I think I had like 30 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists. I mean, it was unbelievable. The energy and power I had because somebody believed in me. My father was an amazing man. Everybody loved my dad. I lost him when he was 60 years old. I lost him early. But the thing is that what my father did for me is he believed in me more than anyone else I know in my life. And so I would go to him with crazy projects, all kinds of ideas to do things. I never remember a time that the answer was any different than. He always said, well, I think that'd work, Rick. I think that would work, Rick. And he empowered me. And I thought, well, when my dad says that, it's going to work. And most of those things worked for me. It was unbelievable. And so having a great father gives you kind of the basis and the formats to become a great father. I have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, and they're very athletic like I was. And I coached them in basketball all the way through there from like 5 years old to 9 years old. And they're all stars of their team. And it was an amazing experience. I spent so much time with my children, upbringing them, teaching them. And I taught them in the same way that I was taught, you know, to believe in themselves, you know, to go out and try to win in the world. And all of my kids ended up being successful in what they did in their own endeavors. And so I'm very proud of my children. I love my kids. It's my greatest accomplishment in my life, of course, is having these children and watching them grow up and watching some of them have children now. So it's Grandpa Rick now. So I believe that's a calling from God that I was given, and they were put in my care. And so I did the best I could to spend the time that they needed and to spend the time teaching them the important facts of life. Well, you know, my greatest achievements in my life are, you know, my children. I mean, having these kids turn out to be amazing kids and having success and have happy lives, you know, that's been my greatest achievement. Why day one? You know, in the network marketing industry, I had a very successful career. I became an 8-figure earner there, and I became known as Mr. Day One. And so, you know, why day one? You know, day one is a train the brain exercise. Because you see, everyone is negative by nature. As a matter of fact, to be negative is a very effortless thing for people. That's why people are all negative. If somebody's in a diner and one person leaves the table, everybody at that table talks negatively about the person in the bathroom, right? And so it's kind of who we are. And so what we have to do, and number one, when we wake up in the morning, you got to understand the thing that we fear the most is our first thought in the morning when we wake up. And if we allow that fear to take over, that day is wasted. And if that happens, the next day is wasted. You know, one of the things that I know is that life is tough and life has a lot of baggage in it, right? And if you find yourself talking about all the bad things that happened yesterday, you got no time to go after the new great experiences tomorrow. And so what day one does, it trains the brain that when you wake up in the morning, you know you're going to have this negative. You say, yep, there it is. You take that thing, compartmentalize it, put it in the back of your brain, and then you do whatever you got to do to get in a positive frame of mind, right? And you do that through meditation, read a book, call a friend, you know, do something. And then what happens is all of a sudden you start to gain this energy back. And when you get that and you get yourself in a day one mentality, what ends up happening is when you go forward in that day, you go forward with power and positivity and posture and presence. And when that happens, everybody wants to be your friend. You know, everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to say yes to you. Everybody wants to follow you. If you can't get anybody to say yes, listen to me very closely. You're having a problem with the day one concept. Day one concept means a new restart every day and leaving the baggage behind. Because if you carry all the baggage of all the bad things that have happened to you in your life, by the time you reach 35 or 40 years old, we call that they're too scarred to approach with network marketing. Well, what that means is you're not scarred. What it means is you still have all that baggage. It's like having a big sack and it gets bigger and bigger and heavier every year you're alive, because bad things happen even to good people, right? So what it is, it's a chance for you to let go of that bag, have a brand new restart today, just like it's the first exciting day of your life to go accomplish something great. Have hope and opportunity in your heart and in your mind. And then what you do is you go out there and you just kill it, guys. So day one mentality, that becomes almost automatic after a while. At first, it seems kind of fake, but what you do is you prepare the night before the things you're going to do. So when you wake up in the morning, you get into this, you have a track to run on already, and boom, you go after it right now. So day one is nothing more than just a concept of restarting every single day new. Okay, to be able to win that day, because you win one day at a time in life. You don't win 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. You win one day at a time. If you win today, you're going to win tomorrow. If you win tomorrow, you're going to win for the week. If you win for the week, you're going to win for the month. You win for the month, you're going to win for your life.
What day is it?